Howdy folks, Gabriel here, soaking up a awesomely sunny day here in Jasper National Park, Canada. It's about time. So in this video I wanted to talk a little bit about the concept of abundance versus simplicity. And there's certainly a lot of talk in the spiritual community about abundance, and that we deserve abundance, and that abundance in the outer world will be reflected back to us as a result of abundance within ourselves. And I certainly agree to this to a great extent. The question is, what does that mean, abundance? Now, there are people on this planet who have overwhelming abundance. I recently came across an article that someone had shared on Facebook that the top richest 200 people on the planet have more wealth between those 200 people than the bottom 3.5 billion. 200 people have more wealth than half of the planet. So that is a pretty disgusting reality of our current Earth. And that kind of abundance is not sustainable, it is not reasonable, it is not rational, it is not sane. And so there needs to be some sense of rationality in viewing the concept of abundance and what that really means, and what is really practical and sustainable for the planet. So you have to keep in mind the fact that there are 7 billion people on the planet, and there is a limited number of resources. We can't all have private jets and private yachts and massive mansions and huge tracts of land to ourselves, and private chefs and all of this stuff that goes along with the richest people in the world. Abundance needs to be reined in from this, and this is a reality of our vertical societal hierarchy of there are people at the top, there are the haves who have ridiculous sums of money, and then it goes down from there to the people who have nothing and are starving on the streets. And there will always be discrepancies and differences. It's not that I think we should all have the exact same amount of stuff. That's obviously absurd. There's going to be disparities within society, and that's part of the broad spectrum of human experience, that some people have great abundance and some people don't have very much, and there isn't necessarily anything wrong with that. We're all just having different experiences. But there's no reason that 3.5 billion people should be living in poverty while 200 people have as much wealth as these, as half of the planet. So abundance should be viewed through a spectrum of sustainability and what is actually reasonable and practical, that most of the people in the planet could live a life of abundance that does not tax the planet overly, that is actually reasonable and doable, but that gives people what they need. So my basic point is simply that the concept of abundance should be considered in practical terms of what do you actually need to live. Do you need extreme extravagance? No, you do not. And personally, I have no desire for extreme extravagance. It's nice to have certain luxuries, but for me, that's having a really cool backpack and a tent and maybe a bicycle and a good stereo system, or and maybe a car if I happen to need one at the time. I don't have one right now. I have extreme simplistic amounts of stuff at the moment. So just a little something to keep in mind, that we can have what we need and even more than that, but it's really about what do you really need to be happy, and it isn't all that much stuff. The extreme extravagance of the rich elite is a reflection of their lack within, and insatiable greed seeking to satisfy inner needs that are not met. And when you have enough within, and this isn't a wacky, new agey, airy-fairy concept. Our consciousness is changeable, malleable. It is can be evolved, and for most people on Earth, then our consciousness is lacking because we are disconnected from aspects of ourself. And really, that's what the spiritual path is about, in my view, is coming into wholeness, coming into greater presence of being, so that we feel satisfied, so that we feel abundant within ourselves, just being, just sitting here in the woods, with almost nothing, feeling perfectly satisfied and happy. This insatiable greed on the part of the few in this world is a result of not being whole, not being satisfied, not having abundance and real happiness within. And so they are seeking to satisfy that lack insatiably, utilizing the material world. So abundance without should reflect abundance of being and consciousness and happiness within, and it should be something that is sustainable across the planet. So for myself, I seek to have enough in life, but that doesn't have to be a whole lot. So just something to think about there. Thanks for watching. Jacob.